I hope you join me for episode 2 of the Soul Awakening podcast series, Journey of Living Karma and Dharma. We will journey into the dance between karma and dharma, the lessons we will carry and the paths we are called to walk. In these spaces between separation and wholeness, we will find the truth of who we are. This episode is an invitation for you to remember. Your soul is not lost in the weight of your past. It's rising in the light of your purpose. See you there. Souls, gods and goddesses. Gods and goddesses. So let's go back and wrap up the language of episode 1. So as we walk through this series, I am inviting you to just listen with your mind, with your body, with your breath. That's the same today. As you breathe and sit at the seat of your soul and open yourself up to an infinite possibility of learning. You might have already heard this. This might just be just a little bit of a recap for you. Matter of fact, you might jot some notes down and send me a DM and say, well, you missed saying this and you didn't say that. I am learning how this all works for me. And as I'm learning, the divine said, teach it. This is the first time that the divine is showing me how to be a teacher and a student at the same time, because I thought they had to be separate. Right? So we're here to learn a little bit more about karma and dharma. And yes, we're going to learn a little bit more about the universal laws as well, because it's all interwoven. Welcome in everyone from everywhere, all at once and not at all. Right? So the threads of karma, the path of dharma. The threads of karma, the path of dharma. Pretty much another way to say it is separation to complete wholeness. Right? Karma is your drop-off point. It's very personal. We found out from last week that it is a personal drop-off point. And I'll use myself as an example, Sandy. And I'll use this first thing as an example that happened to me today. Because I was in karma, or a karmic reaction that led me to where I wanted to go in wholeness. Because in this instant, I wasn't whole, because I didn't see my other self as the person that I was upset with, the whole picture. Right? Okay. Ready? I'll try to make it short. Short is bathroom light was out. It had been out for a couple of days. Management said, hey, we bought the wrong light bulbs. When they get the new ones in, they'll be there. Up until last night, the bathroom light was still not working. The maintenance guy knocks on the door, comes in, flips the switch, and everything is working. But it wasn't working this morning for me. So he turns around and he says, oh, I see it's working. And he gets ready to walk out. Well,
My karmic self, my egoic self, my reactionary self, my Gemini self said, this has been out all, for the last almost a whole week. No, you need to check that. No, I see. And this is what he said. I see it working. It's working. And my karmic self, yes, that's right, my Gemini self, my inflection of tone raised. So now, whatever his karmic self is, please don't scream at me. I wasn't screaming, my voice raised, but that's his perception of what scream is, because he's in karmic reaction to me being in karmic reaction as well. We've dropped into that moment. So by the third time I get ready to say, no, the light was out. It really was. I have to walk away because my roommate steps in a little bit more calmer because she wasn't in the energy that I was in. And she starts talking to him a little bit softer and whatnot. And I just walk away. Right? I'm still in, as I sit down and try to do other things, try to focus on other things, I'm still in that karmic reaction. So guess what energy is going to do for me? It's going to react to the energy that I have now, because I haven't separated that the energy exchange between him and me. On my end, he probably doesn't know how to do that. If he does, he's not doing that right now. He's working on the light. But I have to work on me. But in that moment that I sat down to start, going over things, even things for here, I was not in that energy of, yes, actually, that energy of my wholeness. I was there before I started working with him. Right? So where I learned from Michael Bernard Beckwith that karma is a drop-off point for you personally. I have to be aware of it. Not just be conscious of it, but be aware of what to know that it's happening, to actually ask myself, not the why me, but why now, or what is it about me that I'm holding on to this energy for, or all these other questions instead of the proverbial I'm a victim, right? So the more I move around this morning, doing other things, watching the energy of the universe work for me based on the energy that I did not close, including that I had to restart my computer because I thought I was all set to go live. And my computer said, nope, I'm in the energy that you're in. Oh, because I'm still in dharmic energy. I'm still in the energy of conflict. So I had to close that energy. I had to use some numerology and some sitting and being in my energetic moment of Dharma. Where do I want this to take me? Well, I want to have a moment of peace. I had to take that moment while my computer was booting up, right? That's what a restart was. The computer was my restart. I had to take a deep breath and say, energy, you're here to create for me. This is what I want you to do for me. So do it. Ashe, let it be so. I had to close that energy of karma. We're always going to experience karma. We're always going to have the threads of karma. It's part of how we interact with this third density world. It's how our ego is being allowed to show us the outside world. And everybody's going to have a different version, or a different definition of their egoic self. Go with whatever flow works for you. Some people say they'd rather be in no other place but their ego, because their ego will protect them. Then be there. Why? Because the divine gives you free will choice to be there. That's what third density, earth consciousness, is all about. Earth consciousness, she's not about denying you. If you want to be in your karmic energy, and that's the only place you want to be, then the divine says, be there. Let it be so. I'll be you in your karmic energy. I'll also be you when you start to unravel the threads, or release the threads, so you can move onto the path of your Dharma. So Dharma can show you where you're going to go from there, right? So, karma, bullet point. Treating others as separate creates karma distortion. And seeing others as an extension of self. You can see somebody separate. I could see that gentleman as being separate of the whole picture of the expression of the divine, and treat him as so, or treat him as an extension of me. Well, if this was me and he was, if I were him and he was I, how would I want to be treated? Would I want to be screamed at? He thought I was screaming at him. My voice was raised. His perception is I was screaming at him. Treat others as separate. Separate creates karma distortion. Karma we were meant to have these karmic actions. If you take the drop off point as it's saying, this is about you, how do you want to change? The whole story is about you. How do you want to change? The individuals that you pick to be in the story from your higher being's perspective is about you. You don't want to deal with this situation or this circumstance with this person. Where do you want to go from here? And then when you see that other person as an extension of yourself, and I've said that along with Marcus in our ascending beyond limitations, that we have to see each other as an extension of ourselves. But because we're all expressions of the divine, we're just individual. We're just unique. We're authentically different. We're having a different story. Even if someone is sharing my story, it doesn't mean that they have to like my story as the lead verbatim. They might be there for that karmic point that I drop into, that karmic energy, karmic reaction energy that I drop into, just like this guy was. Now, I know it wasn't my ego that walked away. It was my higher being taking a moment, not pushing all the way to the front, but not pushing my ego all the way to the back, because I was having that moment. I don't want to be here. My heart is racing. This guy is trying to make me think that there's nothing wrong with the light. Maybe he isn't trying to make me think that there's nothing with the light. Maybe he just believes in that moment of perception that nothing's wrong with the light. But in the 3 times that I pushed that energy towards him in my karmic reaction, he pushed back. Because those were both our egos saying, no, one of us has got to be right. And my higher being said, nope, not today. Kind of like being in kindergarten. Go sit down, Sandy. Take a moment. Right? The fact that happened, that I could use that as an example of treating others as separate creates karma distortions, and recognizing oneness cleanses karma, I see exactly what happened. Wow. I treated him as separate from me, separate from the situation of getting the light done. I could have worked with him. I could have kept an even, temper and said, I could have said it I could have said everything I said in a totally different tone, and probably got the same result that my sister got when she walked up, and as her energy was coming up, my higher being was saying, go sit down. Right? Okay. Living your Dharma often begins with service and seeing others as extensions of yourself. Right? So in this theme, everything is connected. There's no true separation. There's no true separation between yourself and others and the universe. There's no separation. It's perceived that way. And it's our play time to go open the playground and play to recall it. Okay, I said it that way, but most people would say it's our job to recall it, to recall the wholeness that we came from. I just don't like to use the word job. I think we came to play at being human beings, or a whatever type of being that you want to call yourself. Okay. So let's give the definition of treating each other as separate creations in the distortion, so that we eventually recognize that we need to clean our karma. Clean don't mean you're dirty. It just means that you get the opportunity to change your karmic reactions and step out of it, if it's not what you believe is for your higher good, or if you're tired of it replaying. You gotta step into acknowledging, why are you tired about it? I grew up with 3 points of view of karma. Instant karma is going to get you. Karma's a bitch. And karma is gonna find you, and you go get it. But karma is personal. When you act from separation, you're acting from judgment or exclusion. You're acting from harming or maybe even dominating someone else. You're creating those energies, and those energies have a ripple effect that distorts your connection to the truth of who you are, not to the truth of who someone else is. And that distortion is karmic, because it sends out the information, and the information, if it's not aligned with you, it's going to come back, and then the energy is going to reveal itself, and then you're going to go, oh, why do I feel this way, or why did that happen this way? Because it's aligned. Your energy doesn't say, this is good. Are you sure you want it? Karmic energy doesn't do that. It just comes back to you, even if you're putting it out to someone else. So here's the thing. If I hadn't cleared that energy exchange, if I hadn't taken responsibility for the fact that I raised my voice, and when I do see him, I will apologize to him for raising my voice, because that me clearing it here and now does not mean that he doesn't deserve an apology. He does, as far as I'm concerned. He might just move on through his day, right? The distortion is karmic because it sends out energy that is not aligned with unconditional love and unity. If you're in the energy of distortion, not to say you can't be there, because in order to learn, most of us are there in order to learn. I really learned. I don't want to go through that again. But if you hadn't been in it, you wouldn't have never learned that that's something that you really don't like doing, or that's a person that you don't want to deal with. We deal with the karmic threads. And as we untangle them or cut them or unbraid them, whatever terminology you want to use, it allows us to move on to a path of Dharma. What do we want that's different than what we're leaving behind? Here, what I studied was that recognizing oneness, that we're all part of the same source, can be an infinite possibility to dissolving the distortions, to clearing the cause, the karmic patterns. To helping the ego learn that we don't always have to go automatically to the distortion of kind of like, I need to pounce. We don't have to go to division. We don't have to immediately jump into fear. The more you treat others as a part of yourself, if I was a maintenance person and I was in his shoes, I wouldn't want anybody raising their voice to me either. Because he's just giving the message that he's looking at the light and it's working. And he wants to turn around and go because he doesn't need to do anything. It's his perception that he doesn't need to do anything. He didn't have a sticky on his mirror that said, I'm going to fuck with Sandy today. He did not. So the more you treat others as a part of yourself, the more your actions align with unconditional love, and the more you get to liberate your karmic interactions. The more you get to create your paths of Dharma. Yeah, I said it. It's kind of like you create your map as you go, right? So karma isn't just about what you do. It's about the energy behind how you do it. I could have did it better. When we act from the illusion of separation, we create ripples that carry distortion. We create ripples that carry the distortion. We create karma that binds to ourselves, binds to others, that binds to what we want to create. But when we see others as, here's this word, most people say sacred or whatnot. Sacred for me I'm still working on that. Other people can use the word sacred, so I use sacred because it works for other people. You see the sacred reflections. For me, I probably say you see the spiritual reflections of ourselves, not just you, ourselves, me plus the maintenance guy. We're having this story not just together, but as wholeness, and wholeness being the divine. So for me, he might not even know anything about karma, but for him, for me, in order for the karmic energy for him, when I do see him, I will have to apologize so it can heal. Not just for me, but for him. That's when karma can become medicine and not punishment. That blew my mind. Living your Dharma often begins with service and seeing others as extensions of yourself. Yes. I said it again. Your Dharma, your soul path, usually isn't just about you. It's almost always connected to service to others. When you begin to see others not just about your story, but the fact that you can see that on the flip side of that 45 record that you're on the A side that's selling, got big numbers. But on the flip side, there's someone that's on the B side having their story along with you, and they are the lead singer on their song, and you're part of their story. Right? It's that balance. When you begin to see others not as them, but as a part of us, or even a part of me in another form, did you take that in the way that it actually works for you, how you want to say it for yourself? Because I'm quite sure that you've learned it a different way. And there's a different way that you learned it and how you said it and how it can flow for you, right? You start to sense the purpose of the natural shifts of being compassionate, not only about yourself, but about someone else. Living your Dharma might start as something very simple. Simple as showing up for someone else. Simple as offering a gift. But I'm not saying go give somebody a gift that's done you wrong. That's not what I'm saying. Because if somebody's walked into your world and done something to you, it doesn't negate that they haven't done something to you that you do not like, that did not feel good. It means that you can't orchestrate karma because they have a karmic link to the universe for what they just put out. But how you react to what they just did, depending on what it is, whether you react from a karmic energy of, I'm going to fight back, put up the dukes, or I'm going to say, how would I respond to this person saying this? Or is there something that is reflected in me for this coming, showing up now? What could I have energetically put out there? So you might not react. You might ask those questions. And then if the answer comes readily, you'll go, oh, that's why. Okay, so I'm going to respond to this person with, you know what? We're going to have that conversation later because I'm going to think about the points that you made, and then we'll have a conversation later. Right? Simple doesn't always mean easy. Exactly. Nothing about life is easy. Easy is from each one of us, all 8 billion of us, perspective of what easy breezy is, or what knuckle hard is, right? Sometimes Dharma is giving a gift to someone who did you wrong, wrong though, but ego might feel like we shouldn't. Yeah, it totally depends. It depends on what the situation is and the circumstances that happen. But we're living our karma and we're living our Dharma. Exactly. When I was studying for this, the divine kept dropping into me about service from a place of unity, wholeness, not saviorhood. But I've done that too, right? That saviorhood. And I'll give you an example. As a child, I always thought, because I was one of 5 kids and I was a middle child, I always thought it was my duty that I came to make sure everybody stayed happy. That everybody stayed peaceful. I was the little girl that, was maybe not the court jester, but, smiles and jumping around and, even when they didn't ask. And I grew into that as an adult. It's called a people pleaser. You want to take care of people who haven't asked to be taken care of. That's who I was. Right? I believed my sense of purpose was to take care of everybody else. And within that, I lost myself. I allowed myself to be a victim to everybody else who was getting what they wanted to get at the expense of other people, because they were servicing self, which Ra says, if we're talking about what Ra says, you have the choice for service to others, knowing that you will always be taken care of and you are part of wholeness and you are serving others. Or you get to choose service to self, which is the negative polarity, at the cost and detriment to others. It's a free will choice. And here, what I learned that works for me, I don't know about anybody else, karma is only in 3rd density. It's only part of this 3rd consciousness, illusion, and matrix, whatever you want to call it. It only happens here. But get this. When you're dealing with moving and shifting, because you don't have to, I believe you don't have to wait to die to do it. So I don't have to wait to die to get karma right again. All I have to do is shift my consciousness. Shift it from 4D to 5D, which means seeing things differently, which meant today I was not in a 4D consciousness or a 5D consciousness when I was dealing with my maintenance guy. Because if I was seeing it in 4D or 5D consciousness, I would have seen the collective or the wholeness, the completeness of all. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. This is just the way the divine taught it to me. So we'll say this again. Service from a place of unity, not from saviorhood. We don't need to go and be somebody's savior. I don't want to be your savior. I want to, as I'm teaching you, as I'm learning, I'm teaching you, and you take what resonates and you move. But I certainly don't want you saying, oh, Sandra, soul awakening is, yeah, thank you for calling me a beautiful person. Thank you for acknowledging that the divine is giving me uploads and imploads and I'm sharing them, but I'm no different than anybody else. Yes, I'm in my Dharma. Today I was very much in my Dharma, in my karmic, and actually had to slowly move to my Dharma. But when I was doing it, I was aware. I was the observer. And for a minute, my ego was like, man, you really gave him a what for? According to my ego and what it knows about me. No, I didn't. But I was close. Right? You get to tap into your highest, what is believed of your highest expression of Dharma, however you express it, for personally for you, as you're moving through your day. It's not just only about your affirmations or your embodiments. It's about how you do them, the action you take. That's your Dharma. What action are you take? Where are you going to move? You're here in this karmic energy. Where are you going to move? Right? We often might think as the grand mission that we have to chase. We're being told, chase this and chase that. Grind this and grind that. Hey, nothing wrong with it. If you want to grind, grind. If you want to chase, chase. It's a free will. But Dharma starts just simply. It starts when you realize that the person or a person is in pain. Whether it's someone else to you or you to someone else, there's someone in pain. If it's you in pain because of someone else, you have to figure out how you go from that Dharma, that karmic pain into Dharma relief, whatever it is, whatever you need, peace, love, joy, satisfaction, wholeness. Right? You have to understand that the person who needs to be seen sometimes is you. And the people that are coming in saying something or doing something and activating you or triggering you, it's not about them. They're the catalyst by which your karmic energy is active. And you have to witness you or observe you. I had to sit down and observe me. I didn't like the way I felt. But as I was sitting down, I was still in that karmic moment. Why don't he just understand? Why do I have to yell at somebody to understand, to get them to do what they did? But I didn't get him to do what he did. My roommate had a conversation with him that allowed him to pursue on to find out what the fault was, why the light wasn't working. It wasn't me. What I pursued was that that energy exchange that allowed me to keep in my karmic moment. I had to notice me and ask myself, what do I need? My soul's path has to become clear with that, because my soul is saying, we're here to play. What are you trying to show me? What do I need to know? Your soul, your higher being, your spirit, whatever you choose to call it. Tell me about this karmic reaction that you had. Tell me about it. And that's where it shifts. Oh, if I've got to explain it and show me as the observer explaining it to my higher being, then I'm taking a moment to sever a karmic thread or heal it, and then move on my dharmic path. And that's me explaining to my soul what just happened and where we're going now. Right? It's believed that the law of divine oneness is very interactive in this. When we came into these physical bodies in birth, we were had a little amnesia, because third density does not let us recall that we are higher beings and what we came in to this gorgeous body to do. And I'm talking about all your gorgeous bodies, not just me. Right? So we have this karmic opportunity of separation. We don't readily acknowledge it. And most of the time we're not taught it. But we are connected. The divine never severs its connection with us. Every thought, every word, every action affects the whole. We do everything we do, even in minor minuscular moments, affects the whole. We just may not see it or observe it. When we step into our Dharma, we become conscious or aware of what type of service we might want to do, or the fact that we haven't been doing the right type of service, or I've been servicing myself completely enthralled in me. And now I see where that has affected, the people who wanted to be part of my life, that feel like they're on the outside, and I'm just alone here doing me. I mean, I hear everybody talking about boundaries and whatnot, but I always say, don't be a prisoner of your boundary. there is a balance. You're going to have karmic reactive moments of distortion, and then you're going to have Dharma moments that move you from there in one area or another in your life. And we're not all going to go through it at the same time, right? You could step in your Dharma through conscious service, whatever you call the service is, offering your gifts and your talents to others and allowing them to offer them to you in one way or another, one subtle way or another. Doesn't mean that you have to believe everything they believe. There might be, for me, there might be somebody who's very religious, but they're learning a little bit about karma and Dharma. So they might have learned something that I haven't learned. It can be offered to me. It doesn't have to, I don't have to push it away because I don't believe like they believe in other parts of their religious belief. I can just receive it in and go, wow, okay, I'm going to check that out. They just serviced me, and I just observed them servicing me. And I repaid their kindness by saying thank you and acknowledging that they helped me learn something new. Right? How do you practice this in real life? You can practice it by standing in the mirror and looking at yourself and gazing at yourself, or even at gazing at someone else and repeating. Maybe you can do it out loud if you're in a mirror, or if you're seeing someone else and you're just kind of fixated on them, you can internally say, this is another me. That blew my mind. I never thought of that. And so I tried it. I didn't do it this morning, and look what happened. You can also compassion journal. You can ask yourself embodying questions. The one that I had to ask myself when I first started learning about this is, have I really forgotten what oneness or wholeness is? My other question was, where can I serve or serve unity? Do I even know the definition of unity? I had to ask myself those questions because that's on the path to Dharma. Right? If you haven't yet, practice compassionate kindness. Find out what it means to you. Say in the mirror, if I wanted someone to be kind to me, what would I want? And then reflect that to someone else. Right? It's not about getting rid of all your threads of karma all at once, and then you live in your Dharma forever. Infinite possibilities? Yeah, that could happen. But we have so many versions of ourselves. We have our business self. We have our personal self. We have our interpersonal self. We have our self as part of a family, that the family that we grew up in, the family that we have immediate family right now, or if we don't have any family, the lack of family. We have all these interactive pieces of us that are coming together as wholeness, and karmic energy that has been layered up. And that karmic energy gets triggered or activated, right? And we're taught to blame that person for triggering us, for activating us. We haven't been taught, or now we are teaching or observing ourselves and actually making ourselves accountable. And as you're making yourself accountable, then you're designing your dharmic roadmap to where you want to go from where you're healing from, if you choose to call that healing. Right? Everything is vibration, right? We talked about that in the embodying the universal laws. The law of vibration says that everything is vibration. Everything is energy. That everything is a frequency that is always in motion, right? Your frequency influences the energy you emit, right? I'm going to say that one more time. The frequency that influences the energy that you emit determines the karma that you receive. Dharma unfolds it naturally. So you get the energy, and Dharma unfolds it naturally and opens up the map that you begin to draw on, where you want to go. You know, if you draw the little map of the little feet that are going places, like in Harry Potter, right? You start to see where your alignment is, and your little footprints go there instead of where you karmically were at, right? Some people, their little footprints take them to a higher vibrational state of unconditional love or clarity. Some it takes them to peace. Right? Or not. Take what resonates. Karma is not just about your actions or reactions. It's about the energy behind your actions, your intention. We already know that energy is vibration. Therefore, your intentions vibrate. You can't hide them from the universe. You can't hide your intentions from the divine. Your thoughts, your emotions, your beliefs, your intentions all carry a vibrational signature. And that vibrational signature determines your karmic and your dharmic. It's action. It's always in play. It's always vibrating. It's never turned off. It's always up at full volume. Even when you're vibrating at lower frequencies, or what you would call lower frequencies. But remember, we're meant to traverse through the lower polarities, the polarities of fear and shame and anger. We're human. This is how we learn. So when you vibrate at lower frequencies, your choices and your actions often lead to consequences. Every action has a reaction, an equal reaction. So every karmic action that I had has an equal reaction. I might get yelled at today. Who knows? Who knows in what area? I closed the energy exchange. I didn't close it for him, though. Actively. He probably has that inside his heart. So my dharmic action is that I must apologize for me. I may not have to buy him a gift, but I definitely have to say, forgive me for this morning, for raising my voice. Okay? Our vibration is the engine behind karma. It's kind of like our vibration is like the gas in a car or the energy in your electric vehicle. So if we want to easily say, think of karma as not just being a response of what we do, but of who we are or who we are being in every moment. You heard that retort that just because you're beautiful on the outside doesn't mean that you're beautiful on the inside. You could have a beautiful, gorgeous, drop dead body, but you could have just a nasty heart. And the energy of that vibrates to you what you're vibrating out. So if you're vibrating fear's got to vibrate back. If you're acting based on fear negatively towards someone else, fear has to come back. It's karmic. It's a feed. Remember last week we said it's a feedback loop. It's an echo. Your Dharma is your highest path for your soul. It can only be clearly seen and followed when you're energetically aligned with your truth, not somebody else's. And remember, change is all the only constant in all of the universe. So your truths are going to change. Sometimes when you're vibrating in a lower frequency, your vision is clouded. And possibly you might make karmic choices from fear, comparison, or obligation. This is believed to block your Dharma, depending on where you are and if you're observing it or not. And sometimes we're not observing it. Why? Because we're in it. I wasn't observing that I was raising my voice because I was in it. But he noticed, and I'm quite sure my sister noticed, because she came over with a softer voice. But I was in it. I was not observing it. I felt it afterwards, right? When you're aligned in higher vibrations, i.e., what we call unconditional love and peace and joy, and when you're in inspiration mode, your roadmap to Dharma opens up. Dharma doesn't, that energy of Dharma doesn't fill in the roadmap for you. It just opens up for you. And then through your path of your peace or your love, your unconditional love for self and others, it starts to, you start to draw it or sketch it. These states of karmic and Dharma don't just, they're not about feeling good and feeling bad. Eventually, through us having those moments of how it makes us feel, then when we decide how, when we observe and then decide how it makes us feel and where we want to go from that, it's not a good or a bad. Then you understand that it becomes, it just is. Oh, I'm in my karmic state. I reacted and I didn't like the way I reacted. Oh, now because I'm observing that I didn't like the way I acted, now I can turn around and be in my dharmic state and open up and say, where do I want to go from here? Oh, I want to go to a more relaxed state. I want to see that other person as if it was, if I was in their shoes. Because if I was in their shoes, how would I want somebody to react to me? Remember, last week we said Dharma is the gateway. It opens up to your path of alignment with your highest being, your soul being. It opens it up so that you can teach your soul what it's like to be the human version of, I'll just use myself as an example, the human version of Sandy. Because it came to be in this human body and be a human being and learn what it's like to be a human being, from the karmic role to the dharmic role. Dharma doesn't show up when you're forcing it or chasing it. It comes through you in your resonance of your soul. Whatever form you, soul, spirit, higher being, mastery of matrix or illusion, whatever your terminology is of it. It comes through the inner state of wholeness. Some people think wholeness is peace. Some people think wholeness is inspiration or being grounded in unconditional love. Dharma is the natural unfolding of who you are, your vibration, and you are the soil that's allowing your manifestations to grow. You are the soil that the seed is being planted in. And some moments the seed doesn't take because you're in your karmic vibrational mode. And other moments the seed takes because you're in your dharmic mode and it's getting fed and it's saturated with liquids and sunlight and shade. Understanding your energy is always a moment of knowing thyself, knowing when you're speaking, and what your energy is saying. And through what it's saying, what is your energy taking action of? What is it becoming? What are you telling the universe that you just put out? Acknowledging that when you're in your karmic moment, acknowledging that It's a drop-off point from you. This is where I am. And because I'm acknowledging this is where I am, now where do I want to go? If I am in a place where I dislike somebody so much about what they said or did, and I'm observing what it's karmically doing energetically to my body, where do I want to go from there? Because I don't like the neck pain. I don't like the shoulder pain. I don't like the headaches. I don't like that every time I see them coming around a corner, I just start to freak out body-wise. I start to think about all of the awful things that are happening before they're even in my realm, in my space. Well, if you're observing that, right, then you're finding out what energy do I need to be in to move from my dharmic reactions to my karmic reactions to my dharmic connection. See, that's what happens when I try to memorize what I write. And then I get excited, right? But I told you that
the difference between karma and dharma.
I did not know we had a video, so I'm going to and allow that to play. Let's listen.
What is the difference between karma and dharma?
Crafting your life the way you want. This is the basis of karma. If you become conscious, people around you think you're superhuman.
Namaskaram.
Wonderful to see you.
You say karma is your life. It's literally means action, and it's what you are doing in this life and what you become because of it is your karma. So can you explain to people, especially those who think karma means it's a reward and punishment system made by God, versus karma is basically what you do in your life, in your present avatar or something? Sadhguruji.
Well, when you say reward and punishment system, essentially you're talking about running the world with carrot and stick principle of greed and fear are the basic ways of managing people, controlling situations. By using greed and fear, you can maybe manage social situations to some extent, but every human being, with a little observation, they know with greed and fear, you will be at your worst within yourself. Neither greed, which may propel your action, and fear, which may curtail your action, both of them are not very pleasant experiences. Both of them are horrendous experiences for a human being. So, if it is only about pretentiousness, you can run the world and run your life with greed and fear or carrot and stick or punishment and reward business or heaven and hell. So I've said this many times, but it's super unpopular, but let me say it to you because I don't think you come from heaven, you look like an earthling, so I can speak to you.
Yes, from the streets.
So, see, heaven is probably of the many crimes that human beings have committed against each other. Horrible things people have done, wars, caused famines, caused genocides, many terrible things, murders and rapes and whatever else. Of all these things, I feel the worst crime that humanity has committed upon itself or one human being committing upon other is the idea of heaven. Because the moment you say heaven, you're saying, this is not where you live at your best. There is another place where your life will be fantastic. So essentially, this is a simple way of ensuring that you miss this life. All that we have here is just life. Life is the only and the greatest phenomena that's going on here, and it's the most tremendous privilege right now is that we are life. So to divest somebody of life, to deny somebody the possibility of life and say somewhere else it'll happen better, is the worst crime that you can commit on any human being. Unfortunately, it's been going on for very long.
Many religions have this concept, like where you will go to heaven. I mean, if you do good deeds, you'll get to heaven, and you're saying, whatever it is, it's here.
No, what I'm saying is, there was a Kannada sage called Basavanna, I don't know if you heard of him, a Virashaiva saint. He said, illi salladavaru alliyu salaraya. What it means is, those who don't make it here will not make it anywhere. Because if you are unfit to experience life here, with all your faculties intact, then you will… after you die, you will go somewhere and experience life in a fantastic way. Is a complete bypassing of life. Now, this is not about talking for or against some religion or some belief system. I'm just talking about… because you said this is not about reward and punishment. Reward and punishment in its ultimate form is heaven and hell, all right? So in that context, I'm saying, it doesn't matter who says it, fundamentally it is a way of skipping life here and trying to live somewhere else better. So, if people are so sure that somewhere else life is better, why are they not gone?
That's true.
Yeah.
Yes, everybody wants to live.
So we just keep on propounding these things, but we cling to life here because somewhere the intrinsic intelligence tells you this is life. In your mind, you can make up any kind of imagination you want. So karma means coming to terms with the realities of your existence, that you begin to understand that everything that you do, every word you utter, every breath you take, every step you take, every intent and volitions that you create within you has a residual impact on you. It is this residual impact that right now, in a way, you consider as myself. Your persona, for example, Chetan Bhagat as a personality, what is he right now? It is accumulation of various experiences, maybe not in its full dimension, but like the footprint of your life's experience is your personality right now, isn't it?
Yes.
What kind of parents, what kind of family, what kind of school, what kind of friends, what you did not go do, where you went, where you did not go, all this, experiences, not in full reality, but like a shadow, like a footprint, that is your persona. So essentially, your personality is based upon accumulated memory. Memory can be genetic, can be evolutionary, can be conscious, unconscious, articulate, inarticulate, but various types of memory makes you the person that you are. So if you are completely invested in yourself or your personality, essentially your past will rule the future. If your past rules the future, how will your future will be? Maybe slightly improved version of the past.
That's right.
But karma means when you understand every action that you perform, you're leaving a footprint, and that footprint is not something that you have…
I hope you like that. Karma is us living in our now, energetically. Karmic action. We talked about that last week. The definition of karma is action. Negative or positive. Now, take what resonates. Nobody's telling you not to believe in heaven. All he was saying is that he didn't believe that putting heaven first and not where we are living right now, in your now moment, making the now moment first, because that's what you're here to do. Making it first. You're here. It's okay to know where you came from, because that's the recall. Our higher being saying, yes, I remember. I came from the realm of absolute or heaven, as if that's what you want to call it. But I came here to be here right now, to take action. Karma isn't a bad thing. Karma is cause and effect. What you put out is going to come back, because energy is required to create for you. Right? Understand that your energy is always speaking, and that your energy is always shaping your karma. Sometimes even before you have action, based on if your egoic self is giving you thoughts that you keep thinking about. It's going and it's pulling from your past. Trust your vibration. Trust how it rises. Trust how it moves into your Dharma. Trust how it shapes your map to wherever you're going, even if it's to your next moment. Check in with yourself. Ask yourself throughout the day, what energy am I in right now? It's okay to be observant of your karmic energy. It's yours. You were born with it into this duality. You came extremely well packed for your vacation play in earth consciousness. Raise your frequency through whatever rituals you want to do. It could be dance, it could be breath meditation, it could be just laughing. Some people, you look at them and any way, shape, or form, they're always laughing about something. There's always something that keeps him in a vibrational action of laughing. Or you walk around, I walk around and I hear people just humming and singing. Some people always, every time they walk outside, they've got to touch a tree. Even if they're in the city, they got to look at a bird. They got to talk to a bird. A bird could be flying through their presence, chirping, and they'll say, "Oh, good morning. Good afternoon. Oh, did you see that one? Hello." It's about when you start noticing and observing your karmic action and taking responsibility for it. Even when you're journaling, you can ask yourself, what kind of karmic energy am I in? What did I create today? How did I shift today? What did my shifting look like? You get to write it down. Maybe in a poem, or it ends up being a couple of lyrics, a couple of musical notes. Maybe you end up sketching a picture. It's action. Checking in with yourself. Nobody else is going to do that. Check in with yourself. Nobody's going to check in with your emotions or your thoughts or your actions or your frequencies. You attract your experience karmically and dharmically. You attract them. What you want is wanting you. What you want to attract is attracted to you. Subtle or gross energy. You have to find out how to shift it. It's part of your experience. Abraham Hicks said, use your emotional guidance. Abraham Hicks said, through Esther and Jerry Hicks, they wrote a book about it. Ask and it shall be given. Ask what energy you're in. and it'll be shown to you. Right? There's another book. It's in my inbox, or my cart, Amazon cart. The Law of Divine Compensation. It's by Marianne Williamson. It's about how to raise your frequency, karmically or dharmically. If you're in the lower frequencies of karma, how do you raise it? I know you have to acknowledge that it's there before you can raise it. You have to be aware of it. Dharma and karma and dharma are what we are doing right now in living in this third density dominion. It's part of our journey. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. I believe there's a second small clip that we're going to share. I'm going to share with you. And then we'll close.
Once upon a time, during the time of the Buddha, there lived a wealthy merchant named Dharma. He was known for his cunning nature and unscrupulous business practices. Dharma would often take advantage of his customers, manipulate prices, and deceive others for his own personal gain. Despite his wealth, he was filled with greed, arrogance, and had no regard for the well-being of others. One day, while Dharma was traveling through a small village, he came across a group of Buddhist monks who were engaged in deep meditation. Intrigued by their peaceful and serene presence, he approached them and asked about their practices and beliefs. The monks explained the concept of karma, the law of cause and effect, and how one's actions shape their future experiences. Intrigued by their peaceful and serene presence, he approached them and asked about their practices and beliefs. The monks explained the concept of karma, the law of cause and effect, and how one's actions shape their future experiences. Deeply moved by the monks' teachings, Dharma realized the error of his ways and resolved to mend his behavior. He decided to give up his dishonest practices and dedicate himself to acts of kindness, generosity, and compassion. Over the following years, Dharma transformed himself into a compassionate and honest merchant. He treated his employees fairly, provided for the needs of the poor, and even established a charitable foundation to support education and healthcare in the community. His newfound kindness and integrity earned him the respect and admiration of those around him. One day, while Dharma was traveling to a distant city, he encountered a group of bandits who were notorious for looting and harming innocent travelers. Recognizing him as a wealthy merchant, they decided to rob him. However, as they approached him, they suddenly stopped in their tracks, struck by his aura of goodness and virtue. The bandit leader, deeply moved by Dharma's presence, fell to his knees and begged for forgiveness. He confessed his misdeeds and expressed his desire to change his ways. Dharma, touched by the bandit's sincerity, forgave him and offered his assistance in starting a new life. News of this encounter spread throughout the region, and people began to recognize the transformative power of Dharma's karma. They saw how his change of heart had not only influenced his own life, but had also impacted the lives of those around him. From that day forward, Dharma became a living example of the power of karma. He continued to inspire others to transform their lives through positive actions and selflessness. His story became a testament to the fact that no matter how dark one's past may be, the power to change and create a brighter future lies within each individual. And so the tale of Dharma serves as a reminder that karma is not a form of punishment, but an opportunity for growth and transformation. It teaches us that our actions, both positive and negative, have consequences that ripple through time. By cultivating compassion, integrity, and kindness, we can shape our own destiny and contribute to a more harmonious and compassionate world.
Harmonious and compassionate world. Not just the world outside that we see on the news, on the radio. Not that. The harmonious world within. We were meant to do this journey of karma and dharma. It's a collaboration. It's a dance flow. It's the karmic threads and the dharmic paths. P-A-T-H, path. But with S's at the end of it, because everyone is having one. Paths. Try to say that with my list. But all of us are having one, or many. It's not, karma isn't to punish us at all. It's to show us where we're at. It's for us to actually be aware and look, and then karma says, this is where you're at. This is where you keep coming back to. You've been doing the same thing with the same action or reaction to it, trying to get a different outcome, trying to change the situation. But karma is just saying, here's where you're at. Not a good, not a bad. I'm not trying to punish you. I'm just trying to show you. And then once you observe it and you karmically change the vibration, karma is action. You change that vibration, then all of a sudden the roadmap opens of Dharma that says, oh, where do you want to go? Take what resonates. Leave what doesn't. It's not punishment. It's just showing where you're at. Like I said this morning, karmically, I was not. I had to. It took me a minute to observe it and then to discern it. Right, and it wasn't where I wanted to be, and it's definitely not the way I wanted to treat anyone. And if I sat there and said, well, how would I want to be treated if I was the maintenance person and that was him playing the role of me? Oh, I said, well, first I got to, close that karmic energy exchange. I knew how to do that much. But now I definitely, if I don't see him today, it's definite that my higher being will remind me, this gentleman deserves an apology with a smile, with an unconditionally loving smile, because he is the other part of wholeness that I am. Karma and Dharma do a dance. Are you dancing with it? That's an embodiment question. Am I dancing with my karma and my Dharma? My Dharma is not judging my karma. And my karma is not overshadowing my Dharma. They're collaborating together. Some people just haven't become aware or acknowledge it or observe it. So with that, once again, when I was first learning about the cause and effect, I wrote this down on a card, and I'm going to read it because it was what started my path to want to understand it more. The law of cause and effect, also known as karma. I'm going to start that again. The law of cause and effect, also known as karma. I'm going to slow my roll too. States that all actions have a consequence, no matter whether we are conscious or unconscious of what we are doing. Like any of the other laws, it is its prime directive and will not change. Every specific action has a trigger or a cause with a different outcome in our lives and those around us. The law of cause and effect is a mirror of itself because it thinks you are it. The law of cause and effect forms our world around us. What we do and say, whether positive or negative, will come back to us. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. There are many, many ways that you have learned about the law of cause and effect, about the spiritual law of karma, about Dharma, and how you can interact with it, how you can dance with it. And it's all about how you choose to use your tools from within. Know thyself. Ask yourself some embodying questions about your karmic now moment, about what you're observing. Be present. Give yourself a present in being present. So, with that, I say unconditional love and light to you. Wholeness and balanced love to you. Live karmic and dharmic and in wholeness. Peace.
Experience the transformative power of ancient healing traditions. Welcome to a unique retreat where generations come together to heal and grow. From October 17th to 19th, just outside Cincinnati, dive into a rare generational healing retreat with camping hosted by Marcus Christolite of Sacred Life. This retreat is part of the Ancient Medicine Retreat series, featuring the honorable sacred guest, Peruvian shaman Don Eduardo with his wife, and his incredible team that includes Kevin Standing Elk, Jonathan Hernandez, Ashley Ballard, and Chris Rust. Join us for sacred ceremonies, flow shops, and one-on-one healing sessions led by skilled sacred space holders like Violet Lyrafe, Donnie Yvette, Mandy Schmidt, Jean Wilkerson, Cecily Simpson, and Angelic Ray. Feel the energy shift as you immerse yourself in holistic well-being. Bask in the healing power of live music from artists like Amber Echo, Shay Brown, Evan Sturgeon of Sturgeon Friends, Emerald Alliance, Aura de Prophet, and Illuminati Congo. And let's not forget the fire and flow arts that will light up our nights. Nourish your soul with delicious plant-based meals prepared by sacred indigenous chef, Grandma Katie Singing Eagle. Explore the vibrant energy of crystal gemstones with Allie Pratt from Organics Essence Gems and Gifts. This retreat is family-friendly with no alcohol or substances outside of 420. With a dedicated kiddo area and activities led by Shay Brown, everyone in the family can benefit from this healing experience. Thanks to our partnership with AJ Lardy of Operation Oscar Mike Inc., this retreat promises a supportive community atmosphere, especially for military vets looking for healing. Spaces are limited. Contact Marcus Christolite at 513-238-5580 for pricing and scheduling if needed. Visit the site on the flyer or the Jotform link in the description to register. Don't miss out on this transformative journey. One love.
I am the light, resurrected from the night. Had to pay that price to achieve new heights. Fight with all my might to enlighten my sight.